Hey guys, John here from Anxiety Struggle is Real. As I start out all my videos, I am not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor, psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, none of that. I'm just an average guy that's been battling anxiety and panic and whatever for a long time. So that being said, now that I took care of that, thank you. Thank you to all of the new subscribers. Thank you for all of the comments. Thank you for the encouragement. Thank you all for the good information. I'm actually kind of blown away by the response. Thanks. And I didn't know this, but I can look at a list of who is following me, not any personal information or anything, but if a lot of I noticed that a lot of people that are following me or subscribed, I can subscribe to you guys. So within a short period of time, I'm going to be going through and subscribing and watching as much of you, well, all of you that I'll subscribe, and I'll watch as much as I possibly can. That'll take a little while, but I'm going to do it. But thank you so much. I don't little update, not an update, a review. I have not been able to taper any further since December, I think it is. What I have been able to do is to stretch the timeline out on when I take my doses, but I don't know if that really helps at all. I did finally, I got my scale. So I am going to start shaving off little. I'm gonna go about this in a more scientific, accurate way. I'm going to cut the pills rather than break them. I'm going to shave a little bit off. It's a milligram scale, so I can go really, 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 really slow. The only added symptoms that I've been having, besides what I've already mentioned in other videos, is the twitching. That's increased, not to a point where anybody would really notice it other than me, but that's the only thing. It's just, like little twitches. It's always over here for some reason. But anywho, I came up with a theory about why it got difficult when it did. And a lot of you might be able to relate to this, but I'm going to disclose something that I was never going to disclose to you guys because I didn't want it to be a trigger. A year and a half ago, I was into my taper, and I did have a heart attack. Now, the taper had nothing to do with it, and I know this 100%. When I was laying on the table and looking at the screens of my heart, and they were putting the stent in, well, first they ran the dye through, I saw the blockage. It was due to one of my, the Widowmaker, they call it, was 99.9% blocked. And as soon as the stent was in and the dye was still in there, that blood was moving like crazy. Going off of benzos had nothing to do with it. Okay, that being said, because of that, I'm on a ton of other medications. I shouldn't say a ton, but quite a few. And I've done some research on the statins. Now, when we're tapering off, what we're trying to do, I think, is we're tapering off slowly so our GABA receptors will heal while we're weaning off. And the faster those heal, the better we feel. That rhymed or something. I hope that sounded okay. I've been taking 2 statin drugs, and one of them's really ugly. It's just really ugly with the side effects. And I got online and I started doing some research, and I already knew that cholesterol, that's what statin drugs are for. If you don't know, I'm sure you do. It's to reduce your cholesterol. The highest concentration of cholesterol that we have in our bodies is in our brain. And there is scientific evidence that not having enough cholesterol in your brain affects the GABA receptors. It also affects the serotonin and dopamine, which serotonin and dopamine could both help us in our journey. Now, the fact that it affects the GABA receptors is really interesting. I recently did this research, so I was excited to jump on and talk about it. I'm going to do more research, but I think that might be part of my problem. And I have an appointment with my shrink next week. I'm going to talk to her about it. I kind of wish that maybe my cardiologist would have talked to my shrink a little bit, because even one of the blood pressure medicines that I'm on, I never had high blood pressure. They just have me on a high blood pressure medicine, I guess because I had a heart attack. It's also really ugly. And so I think that's part of what is affecting me. So that's my theory and my research. I'm going to try and do more. There might not be anything else that I could find out, but I'm going to try. Also, when I do this research, I take a lot of supplements, and I have my whole life, and I'm going to research those to see if some of those could possibly affect the taper and how I feel and how somebody else would feel, whatever. You understand. Real quick, well, not real quick, I have a question for you guys. Why do you think this started in your life? I'm not talking about the taper. I'm not talking about taking clonazepam. I'm talking about the anxiety itself. Where did it come from? Because for me, it didn't start until I was 28 years old. It just came out of nowhere. I was a different person inside of a day. And I'm sure it was probably building before that, but it just came out of nowhere. I have my theories. I'd like to hear your theories. And then we can discuss. Thanks for watching. I went a little longer than I usually normally do. Again, thank you so much for subscribing and following me. You guys make me feel really, really good, and I hope I help you in some way. Take care. Love you.